doing something a little different today. Football Chopper, what's up, everybody? He can't do a West Coast style. He's trying.
My bad, dog. Can't hear you, dog. I'm listening to my homeboy Nipsey Hussle. R.I.P. Cuz. I'm crip walking under the table.
Yeah, you can tell he ain't no crip walking.
So no, dedication. All right. I got you, Nipsey. We're gonna let you. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm chilling, man. What's up with you?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Just tripping out a little bit on Nipsey going down. Good young brother. Trying to bring stuff back to the community. As a basketball player, I got to see his boy Russell Westbrook. They both from LA. Russell, put it down for him yesterday. 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. Anybody who knows anything about basketball know that's only one other person did that in history. That's Will. It's hard to do that in a pickup game. It's hard to do that at the YMCA. So he ended on that 60, which is something that was very instrumental for Nipsey. So our condolences definitely go out to him and his family and all his fans out there.
Yeah, sure enough, man. I like most people, man, you hear people talk about this and you hear how sad it is, unfortunate. I know he's part of the little gang community and culture. Apparently he was trying to change in that and do other things in the community. Like my boy Ross always say, buy the block, buy different businesses around the community, give people jobs, give people opportunities, man. And unfortunately, again, we don't know what actually happened. So in the sense of motive, but, apparently it backfired on him, man. And that's so unfortunate. So, as a people, we got to do better, man. And we got to stop letting our emotions get the best of us, man. We got to stop making 5-second decisions that's going to cost us the rest of our life,
Man, well, unfortunately, man, it's instilled in our people, it ain't just with, the rap game. It's, at the school game. You got guys at school trying to get other brothers fired because they don't like them. You got guys.
Hey, you telling me, man.
Even in this whole 7-on-7 game, and we'll talk about it in a minute, instead of, guys paying homage to those who, like, if you notice, I've always given much respect to South Florida Express and Brett Ghost because he's the one that put me on with Adidas and made sure that, I was able to do that. You got guys who, everybody wants to have a 7-on-7 team. That 7-on-7 isn't even elite anymore. You got all these parents, they just trying to take your money. My whole vision with 7-on-7 was that, hey, we're going to have a team, we're going to get sponsored, all these kids going to get free cleats, free shoes. That's really my vision, because honestly, you can work on your skills at home just like we did growing up. We had no damn 7-on-7. We have nobody, no AAU, and we had to go out there in the street.
You had your homeboy.
All right, that was our 7-on-7.
And you played different blocks. Right. That was 7-on-7. Right. Hey, this block played that block.
In the street, tackle football. That was our 7-on-7. Just like in basketball, I come to your hood, hey, we play in your hood. But, a lot of guys, they get caught up in this whole 7-on-7. They think that they're going to, get rich or maybe find this elite player. And what they're doing is they're watering it down. 7-on-7 is nowhere near like it used to be. You was around in Miami when it was just South Florida Express, Florida Fire, Hard Knocks.
Right.
And, up here was us, Rat Pack, top recruits now. It was Team Tampa and those boys and unsigned preps down in the Tampa area. Pro Impact in Jacksonville. Now you got 500 teams, so everything is really watered down. But I'm all for development, and I think if there's going to be development, that needs to be done with your high school coach or with your youth leagues. And speaking of high school tournaments, they had the little young man that got seriously injured. His skull got caved in. He dove for, he was in 7-on-7, he dove. One of the young men was trying to get back to the ball, threw his knee up, his knee went through the man's skull.
Wow.
So, it's one of those things that, it was a very unfortunate incident, and there goes the point of headgear. We're very blessed. Like I said, we're sponsored by Adidas, so I get 70, 80 pair of headgear every year. But, you got to make those kids wear that headgear, just for, unfortunately, for it. But, what really bothers me, like going back to the Nipsey thing, you got guys out here trying to blame the coach.
Man, unfortunately, here's the deal, AG. And I hate when people try to go back and blame coaches for stuff like that. Here's the deal. I can only blame the coach, and I don't know this because I'm not in 707 that deep like that. I can only blame the coach if it is required that the players have headgear, and he didn't have his kids in headgear. That's the only place I can only hold him accountable. I mean, it's a contact sport, unless, I know 707 not, but football is a physical game. You're going to touch each other. It's not like you're on one side of the net, somebody on the other side of the net. I mean, that's like somebody saying, you blame your coach because you sprain your ankle in practice. I mean, come on. You can't blame a coach. Like I said, only way I can hold him accountable is if he was negligent and not having the kids in headgear when they were supposed to be, by rule, they're supposed to have headgear. And I think that is a rule they should have. They should have headgear now.
Well, I think, that was a high school league. So this is, it was for, Mount Dora, Ocoee, all the high schools. It wasn't Elite 707. But FHSA doesn't regulate that. Like, I'm from Texas. We have regulated high school 707. And it does, and with that regulated high school 707, it does require that they wear mandatory headgear. Like, these leagues down here don't require it yet. But I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to be required after this incident.
And the sad part about that is that's the problem with a lot of the things we got going on. We always reactive instead of proactive. And the reason we're not proactive because nobody want to spend money until they have to. That's back to what we were talking about maybe last week or a week before. The state of Florida is so far behind when it comes to, football, the coaches, all of this stuff, because they know it's a year-round sport. You're not playing just 10 weeks out the year.
Especially in Florida because we had the weather. But I got a meeting on Wednesday with FHSA. We're going to talk a little bit about all that kind of stuff. And hopefully, they can go ahead and make it. Because the reality is, but the one thing that I wanted to share with people, because I got interviewed by Channel 6 today about it. And the one thing, they, of course, didn't say this piece. But like I said, in football, they have flag football down here. They don't require the girls to wear helmets, and they should. I mean,
they should.
Like, we're at a point where everybody should be in that zone for safety first, because those girls, as well as I do. And I tell anybody this, they better thank God girls don't play football because them girls ain't out there trying to be cute.
No. Hey, when they put that hell back and grab that rubber band, hey, it's on and popping, man. I done see some girls get busy, man. So, like I said, it's unfortunate. I don't know what your meeting is for with the state in Gainesville or whatever, but whatever it is, give them the business, man. Because I don't think a lot of times they don't come out those offices. They don't really understand. Always people want to tell. There's always the people in those offices want to tell the firefighter how hot the fire is, and it ain't that hot. Y'all will be all right. We telling you, we need extra water. We need extra stuff. We need this stuff. No. But then when this kid unfortunately get hurt, hope he recovers. I don't know how bad his injuries are. But guess what, man? They say you cave a skull in because we don't want to spend a couple $100, and they got it. In
his defense, in FHSA defense, the coach asked the parents to buy the headgear. Unfortunately, he wasn't one of the kids that got it. But I think that at the end of the day, and like I told him today, even if parents, because one thing y'all don't have in Florida, and that's one of the problems is y'all don't have a booster club like that. My booster club in Texas in 1987, I'm dating myself, 85, 86, we had $100,000 in our account back then.
Yeah. I mean, but it's funny you say that. There are booster clubs. When I went to Olympia, that was the first time I had a booster club in my 17 years of coaching.
What'd you say, though?
Right. And you beat me to my point.
Right.
But again, man, we always go back to economics when we come to this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, but again, that's why I say when you don't have that kind of stuff, when you have areas, that's, I hate to say it, but economically challenged, if that's the case.
That's a good one.
Where parents don't have opportunity. They working 2-3 jobs just to keep the lights on. They ain't got time to spend in the concession stand. But anyhow, with that being said, there are different things. I always choose to tell my booster club this. The booster club should be required to pay for the wants. The school should be required to pay for the needs. Right? When I first got there, we needed to have the helmets reconditioned, but I wanted to paint them matte black. So what did the booster club do? We paid $2 per helmet to get them painted. The school paid for the reconditioning because they needed to be reconditioned, but I wanted them to be matte black. So the booster club jumped in and paid $2 per helmet. Those headgear for 707, that should be part of the equipment because, again, football is year-round. Those are wants, man. I mean, those are needs. Those are not wants. And so, again, in saying that, we got to make sure that we protect our kids. We don't make the right noise.
Period.
We make noise for the wrong reasons.
Well, no, period. I think that, at this stage of the game, everyone should be just like from the colleges all the way down, safety is paramount. So I think that, if we got to get these kids $40 worth of headgear, then so be it. Because once they buy the gear, it's their gear.
It's
not like
theirs.
the school can keep it, they can do it. And it's not like a helmet. It's a soft shell helmet, so it really doesn't really wear and tear like a helmet, because honestly, most of the time they're not getting an impact. But that 1% of the time that it does happen, it saves
you get your head caved in.
Yeah, so,
it's funny you say that, man. Talking about protection, when I used to do walkthroughs on Thursday, what everybody do on walkthrough on Thursday? What's the dress attire on Thursdays?
There's helmets only.
Right, not me. Guess what I did? It was still walkthrough, but I still had helmet, shoulder pad, and pants. Reason being, just for that, I've seen the collarbone get broken because you got a steel face mask, and we don't have the money to put on the spider pads like they do in the league. So guess I'm going to protect. Man, imagine me losing my doggone starting running back or my offensive guard because I got one kid that want to be a little extra zealous and come off and break my doggone starting guard collarbone because he got a steel face mask. He want to be a shorts All-American player today. Nah, so guess what we're going to do? We're going to full pad up, get out here, make it happen, man. So, sometimes as a coach, you got to think a little bit outside the box and not do what you used to do 20, 30 years ago, man.
Oh, that I tell everybody, I'm a firm believer in that we've always done it this way or get you messed up. Because times change, 30 years ago, we didn't have cell phones. 30 years ago, we didn't have internet. 30, well, maybe closer to 40, you didn't have cable. So, some of these things, just think about it. Our kids don't know what it's like to not have a computer. Right. Kids like our kids that are 15 years old, cell phones have been around forever. They couldn't tell you what an 8-track is.
Yeah.
So we got to do a better job. Like Oprah always said, when you know better, you do better. But hey, man, we're gonna talk a little bit to these people a little bit more about what we came here for. We got to get a few things off our chest, but we wanted to make sure we talked about Nipsey, about the epidemic. We got to do a better job, man. Just as a community. Even just as black folks alone, man, right. It's a shame, man, the kind of stuff that's going on. Like I said, with that, I don't want to make it a downer, but it's unfortunate. And think about it. Nipsey is a big deal because he was famous. Imagine how many of these cats that we don't know about that's happening every day in every community. Oakland, Houston, Dallas, Miami, Atlanta, Jersey, Philly, that we don't even know about that was doing the same thing. Hey, man,
Orlando, man, Jacksonville.
Yeah, we know plenty of guys out here really trying to help these kids in these streets doing the things that they supposed to be doing, but they got people hating on them, trying to knock them down. Which I say, man, is ridiculous, man. We need to do a better job, and hopefully we do it. But man, pretty soon, I think we're gonna talk tonight, and I'll give everybody an overview of it. Mr. Garret Johnson is gonna be on the line with us tonight. We were supposed to get on a little early. We had a little technical difficulty. But Garrett just texted me. He said he should be home in about 5 good minutes. We're going to talk about the transition from a high school player to a college player. Because like Coach Hayes and me both have talked about on previous shows, there's a big difference. And, Garrett is one of those kids that, and I'm sure he'll talk about it, but he's one of the kids, he's the reason I believe in going to college campuses and working out. Because the very first trip I took with kids that I didn't, I knew him. He was on my 707. I drove him, a kid named Roger Proctor. I drove Roger Proctor to Memphis, Tennessee. Then got in the car and drove Lake City to Cincinnati University. Then we drove Garrett to Kentucky. This is all in the same trip. Then we went by Tennessee to see my boy Rob G, who's now in North Carolina. Then we came home. And all three of those kids got offers at the schools that they went to because the college coaches actually told me, hey, G, if you don't bring them here, we're not going to get off. Because a lot of these kids don't understand. A lot of these offers are contingent on what you do at camp. Now, they had offers from these schools, but they hadn't been at the school. They hadn't seen the school. All the coaches had seen them. And it was on that trip that I saw a dude on he had a big old bus, and he had 50 scrubs. 50 straight scrubs.
From where? Where he was from? Texas?
He was from Texas, too.
Hey, well, he was from Houston, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was from Houston, as a matter of fact.
Dog.
But hold on. He had one dude on his bus that was gangster. He was from Texas. He was picking up kids from Illinois, Arkansas. They all flew in. And that man was getting $2,000 from every kid. Every kid on that bus. And so that's what made me inquire. I don't even do all that because I just do it I just do it for cost. But once we actually did it, and that's what made me do it because, man, once I did that drive, I said I'd never do that again. So
that's listen, I done been on some of them rides, and I ain't gonna lie, man. I take a hat off, man, to guys I coached with before, man. And guess what, bro? That's painful, man. Sitting up in the car.
Paid though. Them dudes, like back in the day, the college coaches, they was being able to pay them. That's why the NCAA stopped it like 3 years ago. Now they can't pay them to work for camps. Like a lot of college coaches, like a lot of high school coaches, especially in Florida, that was supplementing their income. They camps.
Listen, I'm raising my hand. Because guess what, man? Like I said, you a 10-month employee, but you working 12 months of the year. So what NCAA doesn't understand, and I understand, you always got a bad apple that ruined it. But what NCAA didn't understand was that is what helped get these kids an opportunity. Because guess what? The money that you made at those camps, to be honest with you, wasn't no real money. It was enough to rent the car, the van, the truck, put gas in it, help them pay a little, because they ain't paying their hotel. So guess what? That helped supplement you paying their hotel. Right. You know what I mean? And the most you might have got out of it, you might have got a dinner out of the Golden Corral one time y'all stopped. You know what I mean? But and that's what actually helped coaches supplement their summer pay because you already weren't getting a job in the summer, right? Unless you was an English teacher, a math teacher, critical shortage area. Right. So guess what? Most of the coaches had opportunity to make a little money on the side as well as get their kid exposed to a college or university.
As well as getting an opportunity to meet these coaches and maybe get an opportunity themselves to go coach somewhere because they got an opportunity to actually coach those guys on the field.
Sure.
I wish the NCAA would go back to it because we do need, high school coaches. They do have aspirations to go to college. Aspirations because otherwise, how will you get to see those guys? So I'm waiting. Hey, people, my boy Garrett, I just texted him. He said give him like 2 or 3 minutes. Is there anything else you want to?
Just to finish up on what you just said, man. So a lot of people don't realize this. The NCAA implemented that player association rule, man. Where now college coaches can't be affiliated, or anyone can't be affiliated with players for 2 years. So if you had a kid that's coming out, you couldn't get a job at that university until they were there for 2 years, or you had to get a job at that university 2 years prior to them coming to that university. And to me, my personal opinion about it, I think that's bad business. If you worth your salt and the coach think he worth giving you a job, then get a job. You know what I mean? I'm not saying to ride the coattail of a kid, but at the end of the day, that's just another opportunity for you as a coach to even better yourself. Yeah. And here's the best part about it. No college coach in the world gonna give you a job just because you got that kid there and you ain't doing nothing. You gonna get fired. He got the kid.
Immediately, once they get the kid.
So guess what? So if you ain't worth your salt, dog, you're going to get fired regardless. So he may have had, even if he, quote unquote, used you to get the kid there, you ain't going to be there long because them your contract. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So, and then guess what you've done? You messed up your own pipeline. So if you're going to do that, you better be worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I know, man. So, hey, man, we left out one other powerful thing, man, today.
What's that?
Which I remember. Hold on. My boy about to get in. So I don't want to mess it up. I'll let him introduce him. I'll introduce him once he said he about to get in. I don't see him yet. I apologize. But we talked about, I know you don't know nothing about basketball, but we got to say something about the NCAA, the teams that's getting up in there. You got to, hold on. He tried to, but who you picking? That's really, I know.
Listen, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a basketball fan. I watch basketball when it gets to the playoff, and I did get a chance to see that Purdue game when the kid went off with like 40 points.
Oh yeah, he was gangster now.
But listen, this the coach in me now. I got 2 homeboys. I brought it up to them, and they kind of chopped my head about it. I didn't think he should have took the 3-point shot when they was only down by 1, But they was ripping my head talking about, man, look here, he was on fire. He had 40 of their 70 points. He had over 50% of their points. I get it. But the coach in me simply says, you got 8 seconds. Why are you forcing a 3 when you can, even if you took the 3, I'm okay with that, but take a good 3. Don't take a forced 3. That's all I was saying.
All right, man. Well, the man of the hour just got on, Mr.
Uh-oh.
Garret Johnson. You see him? We call him Juice. We call him, Juice Johnson. He come a long way. University of Kentucky, top 10 all-time receiver from the good old West Orange high school days.
Yes,
Say
sir.
what's up to the people, G.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, that's my boy, man. Hey, man, me and this boy go way, way back, man. He was on my first 7-on-7 team when we was really elite. He was the young boy on the team, but he always competed. Then, the next year he was definitely the man. Like I said, I owe him a lot because if it wasn't for him, when Kentucky told me that, hey, because, he was always a great kid. So when they said, hey, we want to see him in camp. If you don't come to camp, we got one spot. And it was between him and a dude named Brandon Barrios that went to Miami. And the coach at the time said, man, I believe he's better than Brandon, but I got to show the coaches. So we went up there, and hey, him and Brandon went at it, and he was victorious, and he was the man, and did everything he was supposed to do. So, I'm very proud of this one right here. He's like a little son to me, man. I love him. I love him to death. Like, I love him just like a son. And so, Garrett, go ahead and tell a little people about yourself, and then what we're going to need from you is because, we'll have people view it, but I want to be able to people to hear from someone who really just got out of college as to what the transition was from what they need to do in high school, what they need to do in college. And by the way, he has a degree from the University of Kentucky, which is what I'm most proud of.
Congratulations, man.
I appreciate that, Coach. Appreciate that, Coach. Coach, you said it pretty much. You summed it up. I was on your first team. Like you said, I was a young buck out there. Me and another guy, Deontay Gaines.
Yeah.
He is a baller at Dr. Phillips High School, an athlete. So it's me and him. Coach AG took us up on his wings, being able to go on the road trips, being able to compete against those other guys with all the offers already. It just made us hungry because we the young guys, but we competing with the boys, so we feel like we deserve the same thing that they getting.
Amen.
But I'm thankful for that. It humbled us. It humbled us too. We eventually did get our offers, but it took a different time. So I guess my first point can be just going to high school to college. Everybody's path is different. But you definitely want to control everything you can control. When I got to college, that's one of my biggest takeaways from going to college is controlling what you can control. Because even high school with the recruiting process, that's things you can't control. The only thing you can control is like your work ethic, your class work, you getting your work done, you just handle your business like a collegiate athlete before you get there. And that's something my mom she instilled that in me too. You gotta act like you're there before you're there. And that's something I believe too. I feel like your mind arrives before you physically do. Especially if that's something you want, and I feel like if God has that in for you. So that was something big, man. In high school, my biggest thing, what I did going to transition to college, I wanted to be slow when I got there. I ain't wanted to be like, oh man, I don't want to be like just like the young buck. Even though that's what it was, but I always want to be out there, competing, talking a little bit. So I took it upon myself to ask the coach for the playbook, the offensive playbook. So every day at lunch, and senior year, I got about maybe four or five classes. It real easy. I stayed on top of my work. And so during lunch every day, or during lunch and a couple of other my classes, I go out on the field, have a couple of my buddies. I wrote down all of the plays from the playbook. We'll be walking to lunch. That I give him the book just for him to quiz me. I can't remember the plays now, but I remember when I first got to Kentucky, like everything, all the plays were the same, and they may have added a few, but I was getting it more than the guys that were already there, just because they felt like since they were already entitled to something, and when they feel like that, it's up for the taking. It's up for the taking because they ain't going as hard or doing what they can do. So that was something big, just pushing yourself so it's not a shock when you get there. It's not a culture shock. I'll say when you're in high school, I say don't treat it like high school. Like I said, treat it like college. High school it can get easy, especially towards your senior year. Like you say, you got a few classes. It's easy to get lackadaisical. But going to college, everything's gonna pick up fast. Everything picking up fast. So I say just even if it's easy, just continue to go push yourself beyond the limits, and just affect somebody else.
Let me ask you this, because when Coach Hayes, do you have a question you want to ask?
No, I just got a comment, man. I take my hat off to you, man, for having that foresight to understand that you could take that playbook, take the initiative, hold your future in your hand, man. That's awesome. Because a lot of kids at that age don't understand that. They think they're gonna just, I was the man here at West Orange or Dr. Phillips or Olympia, Evans, whatever, and you're gonna be the man somewhere else. And what you just said was huge, was that, your mind gotta arrive before your body does, because at that level, they only recruiting top athletes.
Right.
So what's going to separate you usually what's between your ears. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not how fast your feet move, how great a route runner you are. You know what I mean? You already got that. You already got that basis. That's why you're there. That's why you had that opportunity. You know what I mean? So, again, what separates you now is the gray matter that's in between your ears, man. So I take my hat off to you, man, on that. That's good. That's good looking out for a 17, 18-year-old kid, man.
Hey, man, because what's going to happen, man, is we're going to, put this out there for a lot of people to see. So one thing I want to do, your freshman year, because we have a lot of kids that's in the 8th grade going to be freshmen next year. What advice would you give a freshman? What advice would you give a sophomore? What advice would you give a junior and a senior, for that matter?
Okay, I say, I just take back to the first point I said. Everybody's path is different. So freshman year, I did get the chance. I still remember like it was yesterday. I remember they moved me up to JV. I wasn't really tripping about varsity, but I remember I was in line. The coach came in. It was me and another one of my homies. They came in there grabbing a couple of us, moving us up, bumping us up. So they put me on JV. One of my boys got it. He's like, I want to move up. I want to move up. So they kept him on the freshman team. But he's good. He's our best old lineman. And I still brag on him to him. But it's just that little small thing. We laugh about it now. But that just something small as that. Just let you know that everybody's like to say the time and the path is different. But freshman year, I say when you're a freshman, you don't want to be a senior right away. You want to be a freshman. You want to enjoy that freshman year. So even if I was if I had stayed on freshman, I wouldn't have had any bad thoughts about it. I would have treated it as it was. But I say, just take your time with everything. Learn what you can along the way. That freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, learn everything, because if you're supposed to be a senior, as soon as you got to high school, it wouldn't be 9th and 10th and so on. So I feel like, all those are implemented for a reason, to help people mature and to, learn things along the way before they going off to college. So I say, just freshman year, and also you're gonna start off right with grades and everything too, because
bingo.
Yeah, that's because you don't want to put yourself in the hole. As soon as you get on the campus, like that's the worst thing you can do, because then you're playing catch up. And I know too many people. I do my work, but I don't love schoolwork. I'm sure a lot of people don't, but I get it done because I know it has to be done.
Right.
So I know it's easier just to do it right then, turn it in, rather than having to, come out after practice, come home, make up all that work. Like, nobody wants to do that. I feel like and that's just extra. We could be doing something else. You could be practicing your craft or whatever it is. So I say that about freshman year. Started off right. Sophomore year, just continue to grow. Continue to grow. Just pick off on your freshman year. Pick off from your freshman year. And them freshman mistakes, they should be freshman mistakes. You're a sophomore now. I feel like a year, that's time to grow. I feel like there's plenty of time to grow. As long as you doing what you're doing, you're not cheating yourself. So I say sophomore year, just pick up the work a little bit, pick up the workload a little bit, but learn from what you did your freshman year, and just look at the freshmen once you're a sophomore. That tells you a lot. That's when it really puts it really like gets to reality. I remember even when I was just on college, just fast forward real quick. When I was in college, my freshman year, I didn't feel like a freshman until my sophomore year when I saw the freshman. I was like, man, that's how I was acting. You know, like little stuff like that. So that was something right there. And that's when it hit you. You like, okay. Then it started making sense. So it started falling together. Junior year, start setting your goals because you know you're getting closer and closer to leaving, getting out the house, going to wherever you're going. I remember my junior year. That's when I wanted those offers. I wanted those offers. That's when it's still on 7-on-7 and everything. But that's when things started picking up. I remember I just wrote. I will go D1. I wrote it. I had it on my mirror. I was like, I don't know if it's. I don't know where it's at right now, but I know it's on my room. So I will go D1. I can't remember the yard. I can't remember my yards. It's a bunch of yards and a bunch of touchdowns. So I know I ain't get the yards. Well, I think I probably did get the touchdowns, and I had it. I put it on my mirror. So every morning, I just woke up motivated. My junior year, I just wear all the different teams. You know, Florida State. I wanted to be. Those were my schools too. Junior year. So I wanted to go to one of those, and just that small of a thing, just wearing those team clothes, it just motivated me. I just saw myself there, even though I didn't end up going to either one of those schools, but I saw myself at one of those big schools, and I think that right there, my mind was there, so I wasn't settling. I wasn't settling until I got it. And senior year, that's when, like I said, that's senior year. You 3 years, you 4 years in now. Like all of that stuff, you got to have to retain something. I know you ain't gonna remember everything, but you start seeing it now. Everything starts slowing down. Everything real slow now. You got, like I said, you got a few classes. Nothing major work. As long as you started it off right, your freshman year, senior year, it'll be a breeze. It'll be what you treat it as. So yeah, I say that about senior year. Your goals, everything should be lining up. Start acting like you're on college right now, because you're about to be gone. So after those workouts, when you don't have to be doing anything after school because you don't got to work out with the team no more. That's when you got to step it up the most. And I feel like even your senior, you can help out a younger guy because that'll show you a lot about yourself. Like that'll help you grow as well. You working with them, but you growing your mind as well. You kind of mentoring to someone else before you get to the college campus. Just those steps, pretty much, and I feel like you'll be on a good path entering college.
See, that's what I wanted. Kind of some of these parents and some of these kids that see this to kind of be able to take with them. And then I know you had a pretty good support system. You had quite a few people that really was there for you, starting with your moms. I know that she didn't play about them grades and all that kind of stuff. So you have parents that are out here, that they want their child to be a Division I player. Maybe you can impart on them some of the things that your mom did to kind of help you in that process.
Grades was the biggest thing. When I think back then, I was like, Mom, my mom's so strict. All my buddies, they get their grades, and it is what it is. A couple of them. But when they came out here, my mom would get on them about their grades. Just like she didn't play about the grades. So I say just that right there, that was the biggest thing. I say grade wise, stay on them about grades. To make it easier for yourself, make it easy because football is football. Like you said, you getting the offers, you getting recruited and everything because they see the talent. But the grades, that's something else. That's something else. It's what we don't love, but what we have to do. What we have to do to live our dreams, to chase our dreams on the football field. And I say, just stay on your kids. Just challenge them. My mom was strict. She was a little strict with me, but I thank her for that now. I thank
pay off, man. It pay off.
Yeah, it definitely does. Back then, like I said, I'm like, man, my mom's so strict. But it just, I just got to take it. And I never said anything. But just going off to college, just because then you're gonna be on your own. So if you just being wild and all that stuff before you even go off, then the Lord knows what you'll be doing in college. It's free access to whatever and whenever.
Right.
So definitely stay on the kids, treat them as kids because that's what they are. Even when they get on to the college campus, we still kids. We the young bucks again.
Right.
So I feel like that right there will humble them as well, and they won't regret it. They won't regret it when they leave.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so you went from high school. I kind of need everybody hear how your high school went. Once you transition to college, is there anything that was different your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, from the college aspect when you were at the University of Kentucky? Because, let me just say this, one of his dream schools was Florida. And we went up there all the time trying to get that offer. And I was at the camp where he was doing.
Who's the coach there? Muschamp?
Yep.
And I was at the camp where he was doing like the DBs that they already offered.
And
they refused to offer him. And so, we went to Kentucky. He ended up, and they hung in there. And I think Florida came in real late trying to get you to commit. Was that right?
Yep, close to time today.
But his freshman year, third game of the season, I couldn't make it because, by that time, my little jit was trying to play football. I was coaching. So I wanted to go. The third game of the season, he got to play against Florida. And can you tell the people what happened and how refreshing that was?
Man, that was the world. That's still my best memory. That's probably my best memory in college.
It was in the swamp, or it was in Kentucky?
It was in the swamp. That's what put the cherry on top.
So everybody there, family, friends, everybody.
I think I had I rounded up maybe 40-something tickets. I got 40-something tickets that week for the film. So all of them there, I'm getting off the bus. I see all of them. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm ready. I'm excited. The family there. But I didn't know what I was gonna do because I wasn't starting my freshman year. But I was out there. They sprinkle me in a little bit, and I was cool with it. That's another thing. I just waited my time. And but yeah, it's the second game of the season. We're in the swamp. I'll never forget this. I remember we on the field. We going out there on the field. We just warming up. I'm like, man, it feel a little different down here. I forgot what Florida felt like, So I'm warming up out there on the field. I'm just talking, yelling, singing the song. I got lightheaded. I'm like, oh man, I gotta calm down. I'm like, I'm back in Florida now. I gotta calm down. So fast forward, we go in. We coming out. It's game time now. They finally threw me in, and it's probably they sprinkled me in a couple first quarter, second quarter, but it went until after halftime. That's when I bust out. It was not a wheel route. It was like a seam route, and we was practicing it all week, and the first time it might have been my first catch that day. Threw it up, came down with it. It's near the sideline. It's like two guys coming. Spun off, threw them by. They went out of bounds. I went to the end zone. That's
there you go.
The whole juice thing started. That's when it started.
You did what? What you did to him?
Right here.
Give him one. See, that's that Florida, AG. See, and guess what? No, he started his own brand. That's what we do at the crib. See, them Texas boys, y'all just got barbecue and cows. That's it, man.
Hey, you must have forgot who his coach was. You must have. I'm from Texas, baby. Don't get it twisted.
Dog. The doctor who delivered him gave him that, dog. I'm trying to tell you, them Florida boy, we had that from birth, man.
Florida different.
But I'll give him this because y'all didn't win that one, did you?
No, we lost in overtime.
All right, and then but this why he a dog. So then Muschamp got fired, right? And then y'all had to play Auburn.
Yeah.
What'd you do against him again? For the people who don't know.
Okay, he was a D coordinator at Auburn, huh?
Yeah.
He was a D coordinator. There. That's I went up. I made ESPN top 10 that week for a one-handed catch. It was a one-handed catch on the biggest impact player, whoever it was. I didn't see it until after I watched the game. I'm like, oh man, they got him as an impact player. Okay, but just being out there, I'm just playing, and I ain't see it until I watched it on the TV. So I was like, yeah, that was cool. I think I went up. I probably had maybe 7 catches for 150 or something.
Yeah,
It
was 8 for 153.
Oh, 8 for 1. Okay.
Touchdown, but it's not like I was paying attention to it. But the thing that got me the most, Hayes, and this one I because my son look up to Garrett, always has, that's his guy. But when I showed him after the game, Garrett is real mild and mannered. He don't talk a whole bunch of noise, but he talk a little bit, but not like the typical South Florida Miami dude. No,
not like me, dog. Hey, this right here, it stayed me in trouble, boy.
Not like that. But what I remember was, man, and I told my son, game recognized game, because Muschamp came up to that man after the game and said, "Hey, I made a mistake. I should have recruited you harder in Florida." And they got it on tape. And I was like, wow,
You know what, man? I remember that, man. Yeah. I remember that, man. That was you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is a small world. I remember them putting that thing on there. He leaned over to you right there in the middle of the field.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that being on ESPN, man.
So, man, that was, exciting for me because, like I tell my son all the time, you ain't got to say a word. If you're one thing about football that's consistent across the board, if you're a dog, everybody know you're a dog.
That's right.
That's just how it works. You like a lot of them dudes that be doing all that talking, they really ain't dogs like that. Because if you a real dog, you expect to do what you do. So so that's just being 100. But Garrett, because for some people don't know you, I know you finished up in Kentucky in the top 10. You tell them a little bit about since we going in this transition, you went to college. Tell them about some of the rough times you might have had in college. Things that that they might need to be prepared to do. Because they always recruiting somebody to replace you. That's what people don't understand. But go ahead.
Right. So sometime, maybe playing time. I know everybody want to go there and be, that starter right away and be out there. Few people like to red shirt. I don't hear people saying I want to go to college in red shirt.
Right.
So, and that was my biggest thing. I wanted to play, but everybody isn't gonna get that opportunity, And I say the red shirt year, and sometimes I think, I'm like, man, the red shirt bad because I know I would have did it the right way. Like I know I definitely would have grew in that year. Like it's nothing but time to develop and just learn, just soak up the game. So I say, if that does happen, just take it to the chin and accept that that's your path. It's different. It's different, like I said, for everybody. So really, like I said, in that year, use it wisely. And whoever, like it can be beneficial in the back end. You get your a extra year, and who knows how everything happens. Coaching, whatever. Sometimes school is not what you think, but you got that red shirt year, so it'll help you out. It'll help you out with if it does come to that. So I say that even when you do start playing, if you're not out there like that, I was a receiver, so I wanted the ball. Always. And it's a bunch of the time. Well, that wasn't happening. Like this, it wasn't any knock on me. It wasn't any knock on me. It was just, I guess, what the coach felt was right. What was the best thing for the team.
Right.
And I said, you definitely got to be a team. You definitely have to be a team player, and don't just say team player like you got to mean that.
Right.
Because at that level, everybody, like, it's college football, and that's huge. College football.
It's one football, dog. It's one football.
One ball. It's one ball, and
everybody good.
Everybody good. Everybody deserves the ball.
Right.
But it's only who the coach feels that ball needs to go to at that certain time. And I say, even if it's not right, even though he could call a better play, just go with it. Just go along with it, because that's something you can't control. And you being mad, getting worried about not him not calling this play, all it's gonna do is just eat you up in the head. It's just gonna stress you out. And man, just for whatever reason, and you can think whatever. And it's easy to assume or do it all that, and that's what messes you up right there, the assumptions.
Hey, that's why I tell everybody be a defensive player. You always got a chance at the ball. You ain't got to worry. Be an O-lineman, be an offensive lineman, or be a doggone a defensive player, and you ain't got to never worry about that part. But I do want to say this: that transition you say making to as a freshman, right? And you talk about being a red shirt. You know, I tell people all the time it's tough for a lot of these kids, especially in today's social media, where your whole life is basically a reality show on somebody's Snapchat. Mm-hmm. You know, it's hard from going to being the man to being a man. Right. You know what I mean? Because you go from your 12th grade from being the man. Now you on the college campus, you just a man. Because guess what? Everybody that's on that campus was the man, wherever they came from. So, you know, I want kids, and I'm glad you said that, take that year. If you do get red shirt, it's not punishment. It's actually, it's a good thing. But because we feel like, you know, again, we always worried about what other people think. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I look at a kid right now that's going to go into the draft in Devin Bush, right? He's at Michigan, had an opportunity to coach him, work with his dad, great family, great everything. His freshman year, he basically played a lot of special teams. He didn't even hardly play the linebacker spot, right? How hard is it? Now I talk about this kid all the time because he was the man. Right? You go from being the man to being special team guru. But he waited his time, he learned, he played 2 years. Now he's going to be in the first round draft pick, probably the first 5 picks of the draft. Because he took that opportunity to learn. Like I said, you know, so it's big that you say that, man, but everybody now is worried about what other people think, man. And I talk about that every week on here. A lot of the things that kids do today and people do today is because we want to get confirmation from other people by a double tap or a thumbs up on our pictures that only last a millisecond. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, think about the long run. Imagine if he would have went in there crying and moaning about playing. He might have messed his opportunity up for signing for $25 million signing bonus. You know what I mean? Think about if you would have went in there, you know what I mean? You in your home state. You literally an hour and a half from your hometown, 40 tickets. Man, coach put me in the game, man. I want to show up. Now, you waited your turn, waited your time, and you got a touchdown out of it in front of the home team against the team that you wanted to be a part of, man. I mean, you couldn't write it no better than that. So, you know, that's huge right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, for me, I know I appreciate it because, you know, ultimately my big thing was, you know, you getting that degree. And so that was the most important thing for me. Even though you did get opportunity, you still playing professionally. So, you know, you can tell for some of the people who don't know, you know how I went trying to go to NFL and what you're doing now.
All right. I was undrafted free agent. I didn't get the invite to the NFL Combine. They talked about it. You'll be able to find out whenever that time comes. You'll be able to find out. You can actually call in to the NFL Combine to see if you got the invitation.
Right.
Man, that was a nerve-wracking feeling right there. I didn't think about it until I called them and they looking up the information and everything. But you know that's another story. I was undrafted. I went to the Bears. I was with.
Wait! You leaving something out though now? You know, because you know I'm a proud family member. You know, I'm like a big uncle. You know, something worst case scenario. You know, because somebody had, I want to say, the highest vertical out of anybody in the whole, you know, NFL draft process and pro days and all that. So tell little people about what you did at your pro day.
Okay. Well, my pro day, I had a good pro day. I think my vertical is a 41. It was a 41 or 42. So that had to put me.
It was a 42 because I'm always it was a 42.
You got to correct me.
Oh yeah.
It had to be a 42. I know Garret Johnson jumped up there too. Okay. So I think he was like 41 and a half.
Yeah. He had the highest in the country. And then you know what were the other stats? You know, to show that it just wasn't just a 40. That'd be the vertical.
My 40 was I ran a 4.39. So I ran 4.39 at my 40.
That's awesome.
And yes, sir. And I was 170, and I ended up doing 12 reps on the bench press at 225. My broad jump, I think it was about 10-1. And they didn't give me other times, you know, for the little short shuttle, the L drill. But I felt like I had a great pro day. I had a great pro day. And that was a great feeling right there. You know, just going through all that and just the feeling of relief, being done with it. And also going through it, you know, seeing all those teams over there, just that's when you're like, okay, like this it's really real now. Like it's really real. So that was a beautiful feeling right there. And, you know, to have your parents and your family or everybody, you know, whoever raised you, have them being there with you, like it's a feeling you'll never forget. So with all that, and then I ended up getting like I said, I was an undrafted free agent and going to the Chicago Bears. I didn't know if I was gonna get drafted. That was another crazy feeling. Right. I actually went, me and a couple of my buddies, we went to Disney. We went to Disney World on draft day. You know, I told my mom, like, Mom, I can't be sitting here all day. She like, yeah, you know, just get out. So just you just sitting around, you know, just thinking about that, because that'll eat you up right there. Just the anxious and everything. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't get drafted, but right after the draft, you know, I talked to a few different teams, and it ended up coming out to the Bears. So I went up there. You know, I played. I was with them with the entire preseason. I got to, you know, probably think about 3 preseason games. I played in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. So that was another something big. You know, seeing those Hall of Famers. That was a big stepping stone for me. Just, you know, being able to experience that, I felt like that was cool. And shortly after, at the end of the preseason, you know, they do the roster cuts. They only keep 53 guys. And, you know, there's a bunch of guys up there, you know, the people, free agents that they getting from other teams, you know, people getting cut coming in. Like, it's a business, and it's constantly rolling.
And 53 ain't a lot of people, man, for a football team.
Well, not at all.
Think about it. That ain't a lot of people for a football team.
Mm-mm. And when I was up there, they you got to work. You got to be up there. You got to make yourself, you know, known and everything as well too. I say that too. You know, going along the process from high school, just wherever you are right now. Any athlete, you know, keep a swagger about yourself. You know, don't be. You don't got to. There's nothing cocky or arrogant, but you know, just, you know, keep a confidence about yourself, and, you know, even you can let other people know that you're confident, because some people, they'll only treat you how you treat yourself. You know, that was my knock in Chicago. I did my thing, like Coach AG said. You know, I talked, but I ain't really talk like that. Like, I felt like, I'm talking with my feet. So that's what I said. I was always big on feet, so I'm talking with my feet, you know, and just like what I'm doing out here. But as when one of the things when I got released from the Bears, they told me I was a little lackadaisical. Cause sometimes, you know, I'm a little, they like, you know, it's not me. Like, I'm not lax, but I'm a chill guy. Like, I'm, you know, I'm chill. But when it's time to talk, we can talk about whatever. And that is easy for me. And but that was his thing. You know, I did what I had to do. I had plenty of film from up there. You know, going against whoever, however, and, you know, just doing what I'm able to do. But his thing was, he said I was too lax. So, like, you know, I'd make a play, I'd go up on somebody, and, you know, I'd jog it back. You feel me? I'd go to the next play, because I felt like my whole thing when I went going up there, I told myself I was taking the humble approach. And I feel like just being humble, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, you have to, you know, treat yourself as value, because you are valued. They're paying you. You get to the NFL, they're paying you millions, so you worth something. And I feel like you have to show them that for them to treat you like that. If you treat them like, you know, like you don't want any money, they're gonna give you the bare minimum, or, you know, just something like that. And I feel like just with life, you always want to be on your A game. You always want to be on your A game. So that's it. You know, make yourself a product. You know, just let them know, show them how much you really do love the game, so that way they can't put a stigma on you, or they can't question you. They know it's coming from you. So yeah, I say that. I just want to drop that in there. And
good stuff right there, boy.
But I want to ask you a question, man, because I know we getting a little short, but on time. But we're talking about that transition from high school to college, right?
Yes, sir.
So right now we got these high school seniors. Their season is done, right? They got their offers. They signed their letter of intent. Give them advice on what they should, one thing that they definitely should be doing and one thing that they definitely should not be doing.
I say right now you got a bunch of free time. Grind. Get yourself a schedule. It's easy to be hanging out now. Like I said, you got a few classes, but you get to college, you have plenty of time for that. So I say the one thing to do, get your schedule. Get your schedule now because it's just free time and it's easy to just roam, but it's harder to get your work done if you don't have a set schedule. Like you'll just, work out whenever you get free, and who knows if you get free that day. But if you have a set schedule, you're setting it out your day. Whether it's Sunday, you drawing it up, Saturday or whenever, however you do it. But you'll know this is my slot for working out. And, you'll set an alarm in your head. And I know, like, if I miss the time I said I was going to work out, like, it sticks with me. Like, it's on my conscience. I'm like, man, like, how you skip the workout or something like that. But, just having a schedule. If you don't have a schedule, then you just kind of just floating around. You just kind of just free roaming, really. Like I said, the going out, the partying, and all of that. You're a senior, so I know you want to do all that. You feel like you the old head. You are, really on the high school campus, but in reality, you're still legit. You still a young boy. So don't rush none of that because that's gonna be there. In college, you gonna get tired of it. It's so much of it. Your freshman, you gonna have a little fun. It's understandable, but and that's what you need to learn too. Once you get there, just don't waste it. Save it. It'll make the feeling even better once you get up there. You just get another bond, get out the state. See new things. Cause where you at right now, you may have been there for your whole life. And I'm sure it's looked the same your whole life. Wherever anybody's at that's watching this. But just wait till you get to college. Just have your little fun, see new things. But those are definitely my 2 points. My dude.
And my next question is the same, but on the college. So once you step on campus, what's the number one thing a freshman should do, and what's the number one thing a freshman should not do once he gets onto that college campus?
I say, what should I say? How should I say it? But don't let, you not being back at home, don't let that get to your head. Don't let that go to your head because it's easy to get, wild once you get there. Because like I said, you have nobody, running you down or, being on your trail like that. You still get phone calls and stuff from your guardians or whoever. But, it's a phone call. Like, they can't grab you, pull you back in the house, get out of the way. So, I say don't. That's the biggest. The biggest do not. Don't just get too weary with that time and freedom. And
how about this right here?
Mm-hmm. Leave it alone. They drug test. As soon as you get on campus, they drug testing you. You're gonna get a test, and it's random. It's at random, and for however many times, like that's gonna be there. And them tests is real. The people they right there in that stall with you. It ain't nothing you can do about it. It ain't nothing you can do about it. And once you get that straw, you get it's a couple of boys like when they get caught and they'll keep testing them. They do it on levels, however much, and they keep testing you week after week after week, and they stay on you about that. They just stay on you about that. You got to keep getting tested every week. They just keep messing with you like that, and that's something that sticks with you. If you fail a test, your freshman year, you cannot fail. You don't have to fail any more tests. Until you after you leave there, that can be your only fail. But you go talking to the New York Giants, they say they're gonna be reading the notes. Okay, I see. Freshman year you failed the drug test, so you probably been forgot about it. It's so long back then, but it's with you. So just little stuff like that. Just know, that's not what you went to school for. You went to school for, to make a name for yourself, for your family, and if you're playing ball, you got NFL aspirations, to get there. Like that's what matters the most.
and you know we about to get up out of here, but want to make sure, like you know, I know you're getting ready to go, and you know, do the CFL and all that good stuff. But while you're here, you're doing a little training with us at the Certified Dog Camp, which is on Sundays at 11 o'clock. That's a shameless plug. You know that kind of
Ding.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
But so Sunday at 11 at the Northwest Recreational Center for all the little receivers, you know, out there that want to be, you know, a good receiver and learn a little bit. You know, it's funny because you know my son got all your stats in his room. I would go to his room. He got it plugged up because his goal is to beat all your stats.
Yeah.
So you know, so it's and I you know and you know he wanted you know he really want like he really want to believe that. So I tell all these kids, you know, like, and I've always told you guys, these kids are looking up to y'all. Like I tell him, you know, like those guys that, you know, he's in the 8th grade, but those guys that were in the 3rd grade that watched him play, you know, football in the youth level, they were looking up to him. You know, they want to be like him, just like he want to be like y'all.
Right.
So, you know, I appreciate you always being a positive role model for my son, and a positive role model for a lot of these kids around here in the Central Florida area. So I just wanted to say that. I ain't really got nothing else to say. What's up with and yeah, Ken White? We didn't have a whole bunch of conversation. I think they soaking in what he's saying. But Ken White say, "Wow, they keep records of drug testing." Yeah, Ken. Actually, when Garrett was getting ready for the NFL, you know, I got a letter asking me about his character. You know, I know for a fact that Dexter Williams, you know, saw the letter. I was over there at West Orange one day when the letter came up on, you know, not Coach Hayes, Coach Head desk. So I mean, yeah, they keep track of everything. They go back and research all your teachers. That's what kids don't understand. Like you can be over there being a bowl because one of the things that coach, and I know you know this too, Coach Hayes, they really prefer to go right to the counseling office and ask what kind of kid you are.
We said this. Yeah, we said this a couple of podcasts ago. You know, the NFL, and you said it best too, Gary, you're an investment. And if Ken White, if you were investing $1 million into something, you want to know everything about it.
Everything.
You know, you're not investing $100. You invest in millions, if not a couple million. So guess what? Like I said, they go to the counselor's office. But I always said this. They also talk to the janitor in the school. And the reason they do that, because people don't pay the janitor any attention. So when you cutting class, acting a fool in the hallway, you know, because they know sometimes teachers want to vouch for you and, oh, he's a good boy. But guess what? That janitor that you was throwing the paper down, treating like trash, he going to tell the truth. He going to try and scar you if he can. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they know who to talk to, man, because you put $1 million up. If I'm putting $1 million up, I want to know everything about it, man.
All right, well, hey, Gary, Coach Hayes, Gary, y'all got anything else y'all want to tell the people?
That was my biggest. Yeah, I think I wrapped it up. You know, I put it all out there. You know, just, you know, continue to chase your dream. You know, believe in you. At the end of the day, you're gonna be your biggest believer. So I say, you know, don't control. Well, don't compare your path to somebody else's. You know, just chase greatness.
All right, Coach Hayes. Anything?
Hey, Garrett, man, it was a pleasure getting a chance to meet you, man. You know, I learned a lot about you just as a person. I know AG always talked about you, but I never had a chance to meet you. Yes, you know, it's funny, man, watching sports, and you brought it up about Will Muschamp, not knowing that was you. You know, that's a great little bit of history I learned, man. So it's awesome, man. I want to wish you the best in whatever you got going on. I heard CFL. So I want to wish you the best. Get you a big winter coat, bro. Because it's going to be cold up there. And, you know, my shameless plug is, man, at Coach Hayes Football. You know, we drop videos once a week. We talk about football, scheme, practices, patterns, philosophy, anything you want to talk about, man. So here you go. You got it right here at Coach Hayes Football. You got the logo right here. Catch me on youtube.com/Coach Hayes Football. And I'm good to go, baby.
All right, man. And that go that certified dog, just for those who don't know.
Bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay, bow, wow. Hey, the sad part, I can't sing that to AG. You know what I'm saying? He too smooth. He too smooth for the dog catcher.
Yeah. You can sing it to me, but just, you know, it's some cues that be on here. They might want to beat your head in.
Damn, I can't sing the song. I ain't throw it up. I'm a GDI. I tell you that right now.
And you done been to school. You know you can't sing the song.
You know I'm a GDI.
Yeah, but hey, they finna give you some QDI. The Q's for the slap.
Hey, Garrett, you know what GDI is, Garrett?
What it is?
GD. Go ahead and say it. Say it on.
A gosh darn individual. That's what I am.
Hey,
That's what I am.
That lets you know he didn't really go to a real HBCU, Garrett. Because if he did, he would have said what it's supposed to be. Because only a sucker.
I ain't gonna say it because we got parents on here, man. See, you went to that trash school and they don't teach you etiquette. See, I'm trying to teach the kids etiquette.
Only a sucker would do something like that. But it's okay, Garrett. Don't pay no. Hey, I'm glad I was your mentor. Hey,
ain't gonna have me licking out no dog bowl. I'm straight. I'm straight. Trying to got me blowing out electric light bulbs all night. You crazy? Y'all keep that one.
Say, man. Hey, like I say, man. Don't pay no attention. Don't change, y'all. Hey, we appreciate you. Hey, Garrett, I appreciate you, G. Hold it down, man. More than you know.